Hi guys, this is Lashette from Scarlet Moon Creations, and I am back with a new video. This is my April reads. So I was thinking whether I should split this up or not. It's already going to be coming out way later than it normally would because of life things. But we'll see how this goes. Pretty much going to jump right in. Before I get started though, I'll just briefly mention that I have a Patreon now where I have 4 tiers, and the grapefruit tier is for exclusive bookish content that will not be here on YouTube. Stuff I've been wanting to do, but I can't, or I don't have the time to do without getting paid, I should say. So that is what it is. It's up to you if you find it interesting or not. Check out my Patreon. There's already that exclusive content there. Several exclusive videos. Now, the first book I finished in the month of April was Dragon Keeper Book 1 in the Wild Chronicles. This is the 4th series in the Realm of the Elderling series by Robin Hobb, and I'm doing a read-along of the Wild Chronicles with Bethany at Beautifully Bookish Bethany, Christy at Christy, and Jade at Bedtime Bookworm. Every month we have our live shows. We have the live show for this one already, so I'll put a link to that in the description, and if I remember up here, so you can watch our spoilery thoughts about this. So I went into this tentatively because I did not like the Live Ship Traders trilogy, which was the second series in the Realm of the Elderly. And no, it's not that I didn't like it. I was not enjoying myself, and I DNF'd and never read the last book, which I didn't. It's not that I didn't. I was gonna say I didn't miss much. It's not that. It didn't, harm me or hinder me too much. In this book in particular, they do have, is it a cameo? I don't know. The characters from the Live Ship Traders do show up as background characters in this, so you do see what has happened to them, and beyond how the Live Ship Traders book 3 ended. So I'm good, right? The previous series was supposed to be the last one, and then Robin Hobb was like, oh, I'm gonna write one book, and that book turned out to be really long, and the publisher was like, let's split it. So we got Dragon Keeper and Dragon Haven. And then Robin Hobb was like, I'll write one more book. And it came out really long, and that's the next 2 books, which we'll get to when I read those. But, so, I listened to the audio of this, and it's the Anne Flosnick narration. I'm mentioning this because none of my libraries have physical copies of these. There's only via Libby at the New York Public Library, and each book in this Wild Chronicles is narrated by a different person. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I wound up giving this 3.5 stars. I was enjoying the people. Like, the whole idea of Bingtown traders and the Live Ship Traders, the Rain Wilds, and all of that, and the dragons is interesting to me. And I got really into the people, but then I started not liking the people. I think this series hits my sweet spot with the right amount of characters. Like, it's multiple POV, And that can get overwhelming to me after a certain amount. I'm not sure of the exact amount, but this worked out really well for me in that sense. I was very interested in the different characters. We have man, a woman from Bingtown. We've got a captain of a barge that may be a live ship. We've got more of the Rain Wilds people, and that was interesting. Like when the live ship traders, it was more of the Bingtown people, which not a bad thing, not at all. It's just this is not rehashing the same thing or going back to those characters. Having, being back with those characters from Life Ship Traders gave this the 0.5 because I was really like, oh, that was pleasant, right? I started out intrigued and liking most of the characters in this, and then slowly not liking anyone. Towards the end, I was dreading picking the book up. And because it seems like everybody was doing things that I don't personally like. I was just like, everybody is just going to be morally reprehensible to me. Me clutching my pearls, and I cannot. I don't feel like I have moral high ground ever really, but if I'm gonna be reading a book, I do need to like the people. So anyway, what is Dragon Keep about? The series in the series before this, which I cannot remember. Alright, so anyway, in the previous series we read, there's only one dragon left in the world, Tintaglia, but she found somebody. In this one, we have serpents that have been swimming across the world, it seems, to try to find their nesting grounds, and they find Tintaglia, and she and people of the Rain Wilds help them swim up to their nesting grounds and create their eggs to hopefully be the first transformed dragons in centuries. But they are old, and also the conditions are not what they used to be in the Rain Wilds, and there are no elderlings to help as well. So everybody's like, we're not sure. The Bingtown and Rainwild traders are like kind of literally banking on the fact that, oh, there'll be more dragons and maybe more wizard wood or not, and we might get some money from this. In the meantime, we also have a woman who is or to say a young lady from a Bingtown trader family who is, I guess, seen as like unfavorable. Like, she's not from a wealthy family, they're okay, and they don't have a big name, and she's not really good looking. So she's like, I'm gonna be a scholar, but she winds up getting married to this dude that her best male friend kind of recommended, and she thought it was gonna turn out good, but it's not. It's not. It's a marriage of convenience, but worse. And then we also have these kids from the Rain Wilds who are seen as the worst of the worst. They were born with deformities, but not really. They had like scales or claws or what have you when they're born, and the tradition in the Rain Wilds is to put these kids out in nature and they sink or swim. Some of them survived on their own, others, like by Mara, her dad protected her. So anyway, Like, all of these people get together because the dragons really don't wind up turning out well. And they become a burden financially, physically, on the Rain Wild peoples. So when they mention they have memories of this ancient city, Kelsingra, everybody is like, well, let's help you find Kelsingra. And so the book is about all of these people coming together and this expedition starting, and, you know, figuring out how humans and dragons can kind of sort of work together when everybody is not on the same page, or they don't have the same goals. Everybody is not all altruistic, and the dragons are like not respectful of humans, and then humans are not exactly respectful of the dragons. So yeah, I didn't hate it. I was interested in how this was going. I kind of, in that live show, you realize I didn't finish it in time, but I did finish afterwards. And so I wasn't surprised by this. Ends basically kind of lacklusterly because it was this and the next book were originally written as one book. It's not a cliffhanger exactly. Like, you're not given a surprise, a shock, and then the book ends. It just kind of is like peters off because we still have the rest of the journey to go. So yeah, 3.5 stars. And God, I talk so much about one book. This is why I was thinking maybe I should split this. The next book I finished was, I need to hold this up because it's a long title, That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. This is book 1 in the Mead Mishaps series by Kimberly Lemming. I've been hearing about this series since last year. I believe this is indie published. And I saw that Libby was getting them, and I requested it. And as soon as it came, I was like, I know these are popular, I have to read it right away, because if I don't, my hold will end, and then who knows when I will get to it. So this is an adult paranormal romance. I'm gonna go with paranormal romance. That fits better. It's fun times, very lighthearted. We don't go deep into the world building, so don't expect that. It holds up plot wise and world building wise, but only if you stay on the surface. If you ask too many other questions or think too deeply about it, it could be like, well, I don't know where we are. I don't know if we're on another planet. We're in a different world, so maybe there is a map. The story goes by pretty quickly. There are some conveniences travel-wise. There's a point where another dragon comes in and it's like, I'm gonna pull your bolts. Because I was like, how are they gonna go to all these other places? They have 2 more places in this little bit amount of pages left, and it was like, oh, how convenient. There's a dragon that shows up and is willing to pull your boat. Excuse me, allergies. Alright, so we're following excuse me if I forget her name. Maybe I should. Is her name Cinnamon? I don't remember. Our main character is a farmer from a family of farmers. They grow cinnamon, and one day after a festival, a demon crashes down into the forest as she's headed home. She winds up in this like low-key fight and throws cinnamon in his face, and then all of a sudden he's talking to her like a regular person. So she's confused, and he tells her that everything she believed about demons and the goddess of her world is wrong, and that the only way to stop this woman, this thing masquerading as a goddess, they have to go to these 4 temples of hers and destroy these sacred chalices. So he kind of ropes her into this like quest to do so. It's fun, sexy times. They wound up, liking each other and whatnot. So I like the chemistry between the two of them. The romance, I think, was good. You're set up from the beginning for how speedy this is. Like, everything is the same speed, right? But it's not like he knocks her over the head and is like, me demon, you my woman kind of thing. It gets a little violent, not the relationship, but like there is fighting, and she gets into arguments with people. One of her neighbors like tries to push her around, and dude comes out of nowhere like and breaks his arm and is ready to cut off his head. So even in like minor skirmishes like that, it can get 0 to 60 real quick. But I enjoyed that. It was funny. The magic was interesting. I love the use of cinnamon because yes. There's a like RPG feel to this as well. I don't know why or how, and I haven't played one in years or watched gameplay in a while. If you agree with me, let me know if you have words to explain it. And I'm looking forward to reading the rest. I think we've met the next couple already, or the male and female, the next couple, so I'm looking forward to that. This is a black plus size main character, main female character, and I believe the next one is also, so Kimberly, Lemming, own voices there. What did I give this? I gave it 4 stars. It was fun times. It was like candy, and I enjoyed it very much so. These allergies, y'all. The next book I finished, got back to, finally, The Apothecary Diaries. I read this physically. This is volume 4. So, in this series, we're following Mao Mao, who is the daughter of an apothecary who works for the Pleasure District. And one day she is kidnapped and then forced to work for the courtesans in the emperor's inner court. And while she's doing that, she's like a lowly maid or whatever. Some of the courtesans and their children are getting sick. So, concubines, not courtesans. Concubines and their children, babies, are getting sick or dying, and she witnesses one of the situations and recognizes that what may be causing this problem. She tries to secretly solve it without drawing attention to herself, but one of the court members that she believes is a eunuch finds her out, tracks her down, and gets her help more directly. And having figured that out, he establishes her as one of the ladies' maids to one of the concubines. And she's just helping to solve issues left, right, and center. Little mysteries around the inner court. So this one I read in the back. Okay. So I knew that these were There are the manga, and which this is, there's also light novels. And I don't know which came first. I didn't care. I was interested in the manga, so I started these. At the end of this volume, the author, or the author Natsu Hyuga, um, who also wrote the light novel, says that this volume 4 is the end of the first light novel, which was nice to know. And so if you're interested in reading the light novels and you're wondering how the story pacing matches with the manga, now you do. The first light novel was the first 4 manga. So yeah, we kind of come to the end of the first arc, I guess, storyline here, and it was interesting. And I was like, well, what's going to happen now, right? Because Mao Mao was so helpful in figuring out this overarching kind of mystery. Because this dude Jinsei, obviously to everybody except Mao Mao, likes her, but she's also good at what she does, though she's not really doing it because of that. So that volume 4 I gave, if you show me, 4.5 stars. Immediately went to volume 5, and I gave this 4.5 stars. So this is the beginning of the next story arc, and we see how things continue. It's different. I enjoy it, and I'm still loving it. Mama is a little bit sarcastic, mostly to herself, but and the mysteries continue. Looking forward to really figuring out this next one. I think it's more obvious here that there's an overarching mystery going on. So I'm ready to continue that. Alright, the next book I finished, I listened to the audiobook of The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood by Howard Pyle. I gave this 3.5 stars. This was the bonus book for my read-along that I'm doing this year, the Remix Classics read-along, where we're reading all the books in the Remix Classics. This is under Macmillan Publishing. And the bonus books are to read the original classics, so you can like compare and contrast, and I'm attempting to do that. This was the book for March, I believe. Yes, this was the March bonus book, and it was fun. I gotta say that I didn't know until this that there was a book for Robin Hood, and then looking deeper into it, after I started reading this, I was like, this is not like a novel. So I was like, oh, I'm finally gonna get the complete story of Robin Hood. This is like a collection of connected short stories, right? It's the adventures of Robin Hood. The closest thing I can compare it to is the stories of Sherlock Holmes, especially the collections of short stories rather than the novels. So obviously they all include Robin Hood, obviously those all include Sherlock, and sometimes, quite often, Watson. These don't always include Robin Hood, but majority of them do. And the first story, we kind of get the background of how Robin Hood became an outlaw, and it goes from there to the end of his life. Like, it ends when he dies, which was a kind of sad ending. So that's all I'm going to say, because I have a vlog about this, and the remix classic that goes along with it. I give this 3.5 stars. So if you want to know more, watch that. I get into spoilers. The last book I read is the remix classic, Travelers Along the Way. This is by Mina May Safi, a Robin Hood remix. I was reading the synopsis like, well, what does this have to do with Robin Hood? It's really just more subtle than, say, So Many Beginnings and even the first remix classic. This is not retelling Robin Hood from a different perspective exactly. It's reimagining Robin Hood in a different place and as a more likable person, personally. I'm just gonna say it. But kind of around the same time. Sorry, my allergies are really acting up right now. And I realized I didn't take my allergy pill for today. Robin Hood joins the Crusades with King Richard the Lionheart, and this is set during that crusade, but in the Middle East, around Jerusalem, the Holy City, and Richard King Lionheart is a background character in this. But it's a YA story from a Muslim point of view. Our main character is Rama al-Hud, and I enjoyed this. It was fun and not stupid like I felt Robin Hood was sometimes. But if you want to hear more details, check out that vlog. Again, it's 4 stars. So those are all the books that I read in the month of April. Let me know if you've read any of these and what your thoughts were. Especially if you're participating in the read-along with me, the Remix Classics read-along. We're going till September. Check out my Storygraph for that read-along, but also the individual books. We have discussions. Links in the description to everything I've mentioned here. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell if you know what the next video is coming. If you want to support and don't know what to say, you can leave me a little bow and arrow emoji to let me know you were here. Share this video so other people can watch, like, and enjoy it. There is a 10% off discount code to my Etsy shop where I make all natural bath and body products for magical and mundane purposes. Again, link to my Patreon where you can see exclusive videos and I have exclusive lives. There are also links to my Storygraph and Goodreads if you like to follow me there, and my Instagram and Twitter if you like to be my friend anywhere else as well. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.